we go again with a bit more Judge Dredd. So our campaign down at our local club is getting underway. We've probably got about half a dozen different people now who've all got into it. Good positive signs include people buying new miniatures for playing the game, and I've got a collection of battle reports over the last couple of weeks, and I've put them together in one video. Right, we're setting our campaign in and around the sort of recent Judge Dredd events, so Chaos Day. So this one's, the city's been under attack. We've got lots of damage, disruption, and city defences are down. So bands of cursed earth desperados are trying to flock into the city to escape conditions that they think are worse outside. It's pretty bad in the city, so it must be pretty horrible outside. Anyway, I got my Apocalypse War Squad versus some Cursed Earth Desperados. This mission we're playing is called Turf War. There's an instant win condition by having your models in 3 table quarters and no enemy models in those quarters. Basically, if you can push your opponent back into one quarter of the table, you win by controlling the turf. Of course, you can just go for the standard condition and kill everyone. Right, so I'll start off with my force. Here I've got a judge on the left and my city defence trooper on the right. In the middle of the table I've got my judge paired with my punk, who's rapidly becoming my team medic, and over here we've got another punk with rifle taking up position like that, and opposing us here we have Desperado mutant with laser rifle. So fantastic, a laser rifle in a highly elevated position, absolutely brilliant. Here we've got a group of desperados in the middle. The guy at the back with the black jacket is the gang leader and 2 more minions. The one on the bottom of the stairs has got a laser rifle, and the other one in the white with blue trousers has a short range weapon. He may even be the dangerous one with the flame. Right, so I get the first turn and we start the game as we mean to continue with my punk with rifle drawing a bead on punk with laser rifle at the other end and shooting him. Now my guy might only be having a sort of semi-antique bolt action rifle, but that means I can potentially shoot twice or move and shoot, albeit doing less damage. The larger, more powerful laser rifles take time to recharge between shots. So, zap, 1 shot, 1 wound, 1 downed minion. He's out of it. There we go. Handshaking with excitement. Right, in the first turn for the Desperados, they come racing over the bridge. The guy with the so it's led the way with the guy with the black trousers. He's got some sort of shotgun. Then there's a guy who's sort of grey. He's got the flamer, and then there's another mutant with shotgun, and then there's the leader adopting a tactical position where he can overview the battle, i.e. the rear. So my guys run up. My judge runs from that corner of the building at the bottom up and around, and my city defence trooper follows in behind him. My judge is taking cover there, and lo and behold, I get off a shot with my lawgiver and drop one of the desperados. I think he took a probably standard execution rounds there. Meanwhile, my guys in the middle move back because I'm out of range for any of my weapons, and all I'm going to achieve trying to get shots at the guys on the bridge is get picked off by the supporting sniper with laser rifle. You can see in the top corner there, my punk has run round the back of that building to see if he can't sneak down the side. Now on this side, to get into that quarter, I'd have to get over the river, so that'd be a pain. But at least this way it puts pressure on, and it creates some different angles of fire. There you go, there's a close-up of just that manoeuvre. Yep, here we can see the minion with Flamer has advanced. Flamers are highly dangerous, short range, but if they get in range, lots of dice, and they cause fire. So at this point, we're just coming under more pressure from the mutants. There's one up there who's taken cover by the behind a barricade that's on the bridge, and the Flamer guy has dropped over the side of the rails to take cover there. So it could be difficult to root him out. The ganger leader has run round and climbed up onto the roof of that little hab building, which neatly stymies any thoughts of an end run I might have had over the river into that quarter by my punk with rifle. And now the sniper has changed to a slightly different window, and now he's got his laser rifle up to full charge, so he's just waiting to download on somebody. So what's a judge to do? When faced with minions advancing, every good judge knows, in with the day stick. So my judge charges across no man's land and promptly gives the punk with flamethrower an impromptu lesson in close quarters combat with day sticks, and beats the hapless idiot to a pulp and takes him out of action. I'm managing to do this while under cover of all the leaves from that sniper above, although potentially I'd be vulnerable to some counter-attack from the minion on the bridge. The gang leader's out of it, staying over there in the corner of that building. And yep, here we go. We just get another angle of this glorious moment. And so I bring up my other judge and take out the minion on the bridge there. So I am risking being shot by a sniper, but then the sniper can only shoot one of my two judges, and the other's likely to get him. And yes, there he is. The sniper is down. So this bit was quite funny. So the sniper fired at my judge, who'd just been beating up his mate with the flamer, tried to fire at me through the trees, and I was able to duck back into cover. My judge at the bottom promptly returned fire with two heat seekers, both of which missed, and the second one actually caused me to run out of heat seeker ammunition. Drat. So what we decided happened was the laser blast had smashed into the trees rather than my brave judge, and in return fire the heat seekers had been distracted by the burning leaves. So yes, memo, never shoot heat seekers through burning bushes. Fortunately, my other judge had advanced, was able to advance again and bring down minion sniper with his Kalashnikov 97 carbine, a looted weapon from the Sov War. So with that, the end of the game. Quick after action summary, so I don't chop off the video when it runs out of presentation. So I had no injury rolls, didn't get any territory, cursed youth, death barados, don't think anybody died, they didn't get any territory because they didn't lose. Quick assessment, yeah, don't try Zerg rushing your opponent over a bridge into a crossfire. And yeah, I found the laser rifles up high with good fields of fire Even when they're not shooting, they're quite constraining of where you want to go, because all too easily lose a roll, take a multiple damage hit. Laser rifles are something like -4 armor save, so effectively they're going straight through standard armor, and you could find even quite a reasonable hero could find themselves in quite a nasty wound. The drawback is they're probably a bit slow firing for my tastes, but hey, that's that. If Spiru had had both of his snipers up in that same building, able to support each other, and then cover his rush of his grunts over the bridge, things might have been a bit different. So certainly River's a little bit of a different piece of terrain rather than just endless city blocks. Right, on to the next game. Monkey Business. So a few people have got inspired with some ape gangs, and I think Carson's were pretty much fresh off the plane. So here's my Apocalypse War Squad again, getting there. There's a ape gang, orangutan with a heavy spit gun, a couple of big tough gorilla heroes, another orangutan who's more of a sniper, and then a couple of chimp minions who are there. So this mission's sector sweep. There's 3 objective markers running down the centre line of the table, and if you can control all 3 objectives at the same time for a whole turn, you win, and that's it. So at least what that does is it forces the action into a particular place on the table, rather than just sort of skirmishing around all over the place. So how do we go? Here's my city defence trooper and my medic guy. I'm tagging one of the objectives straight away. In this one, you just have to be the last person to have touched them for them to be claimed by your side. A little bit further along the table, I've got my 2 judges, and beyond that car model in the top of the table there, I've got my punk with rifle. Over here, opposing my city defence trooper and so on, that's the orangutan with sniper, and clustered up behind this part of the building, tagging one of the objectives for their side, are 2 chimps and 2 gorillas, and there's the other orangutan with heavy spit gun. I don't think you can quite see her, but she's my punk with rifle is up behind that yellow container in the top corner there. So I get first turn, and my city defence trooper runs up to be behind that part of the building, ready to go in or down and around, and my medic guy acting as backup at the bottom of the stairs. My judge moves up the stairs into the middle, behind that oil can, and yes, there you go, you can see my sniper. She's moved up and around behind that container, and my other judges moved that way to put some pressure on. Carson's already resorting to medicinal caffeine, which is undoubtedly a crime in Megacity 1, so yes, we need to administer some justice to these apes. In response, the 2 gorillas push up and hide a bit behind the corner of the building there. The two chimps have run behind the car. Now, of course, the chimp models are slightly smaller. They'd be hard to see across that car model with a multiplier model on the other side at ground level. However, my city defence troopers moved into the room. He's not at ground level, and he promptly shoots the chimp at the front with his spit gun, and the chimp falls down out of action. And here is a nice shot of a nice empty table. I was a little bit too slow on the camera and a little bit too fast on the trigger. My judge in the bottom right hand corner took aim and brought down the the orangutan leader with the heavy stub gun, who'd moved in just behind that dumpster and up against the doorway in that green building. So, yep, brap, squeak, dead monkey. And with my second action, don't really have any targets, so just move slightly to take a little bit more cover behind that oil drum and move so I can cover a bit more down that street, maybe cover if those guerrillas try and cross. Yep, here we can see my city defence trooper has shot a poor defenceless little chimpy, and he's supported by the doctor in case anybody gets a bit frisky and tries to fire back and actually wounds him. Yep, here we can see the ape gang at the end of that turn getting ready for theirs. At this point they're down one hero and one minion. Here we can see their sniper. He shuffles out a little bit, and my judge and my sniper, my guy, have continued their run around. I think my sniper might even have had a go at a really long shot here right down the street with her rifle at the chimp with rifle and didn't get him. And here's the chimp who's come out of that doorway. He has shot back up at my city defence trooper up there in the roof, and you can see here the little chimp down the bottom is snuck from behind the car and legged it down to that part of the building down the bottom. The two guerrillas have still remained cowering and hiding there. I kind of question this because they're letting their little chimp mate hang out to dry. If they'd come up and put pressure on moving to hide behind the car and that kind of thing, the one with the gun might also have been able to shoot as well. But hey, you know, when you're under pressure from threats all over the place, this is what's happening. So, right. So my city defence trooper wins that fight. He fires back with his spit rifle at the chimp and promptly runs out of ammo. Fantastic. So I've now not got the range to engage in a duel with that guy anymore, so it needs times to bug out. So we bug out round the back of the building there, push back out of that room, because otherwise somebody was just going to get in and cause all sorts of problems. Yeah, so my judge deciding there that there's no things, he runs back across the roof and back down the stairs, ready to head over and potentially get into some action. Right, here we are, back on that side. Not sure what that's telling us up to the more than the other shot. And here's my judge and my supporting rifle figure. They're continuing on their mission of flanking hard in from what's the guerrillas' left flank, and looking to either round them up and or capture that objective. And here's a different view of the two models. Judge leading the way, supported by a longer range firepower figure. Here's a sort of close to model's eye view shot. So the positioning on my figures here wasn't fantastic, and the orangutan sniper was able to draw a bead on my medic figure and shoot him, but shooting through barred windows and that sort of thing didn't prove to be particularly useful. Unfortunately, I was able to win the roll-off and didn't get hurt by that. My turn again. Here you can see my judge and his supporting gunman is still pushing up now. We're now deep into guerrilla territory, and now we're putting pressure on that third objective. So now if those two guerrillas go forward to try and help out in the middle, they leave their third objective vulnerable to being taken out at the back. So what's a guerrilla to do? Right, well, first things first. The chimp runs further down the building and now is on the side of the container. My guys have fallen back from the rooftop in response. My judge has moved over. There's the orangutan sniper, still proving an annoying pest, sitting there in the doorway, covering the whole lot. So move the wrong way and you're going to come under fire from him. Instead of which, he moves backwards as fast as his chubby little legs will carry him and decides to engage my long-range rifle model with a bit of rifle fire. So tried to shoot my judge but couldn't quite do it because he couldn't get line of sight past the building. So engages my punk with rifle, and I don't think I get a wound from that. So either I dodged the shot, or it pinged off my armour. And the guerrillas still stay sort of caught in no apes land, not quite sure whether to go forward or backward or up or down, so end up staying where they are hiding. Again, I think they would have been better committing, with those the two guerrillas supported by the orangutan. If they'd peeled back, they could have pushed my judge and flanking model back, or concentrated force, or some of them fancy tactic stuff, but none of that happened while they were busy peeling a banana. So guerrillas do some of this. One of the guerrillas stays hiding. The guerrilla with a gun pops up onto the roof and has a shot at my judge, but unfortunately doesn't do anything. Now, what's missing from this shot? That shiny metal little chimp. Yep, the crazy fool jumped over the crate, and tried to engage my city defence trooper in close combat. My city defence trooper doesn't actually have any weapons for close combat, but he's been to martial arts school and promptly dispatched the little ape with a punch to the face, and that took him out of action before he could even swing his club. So another one bites the dust. Right, so now it's judging time. So one of my judges runs out there and tows onto the middle objective. The other judge charges the guerrilla on the building who shot at him, and is about to introduce him to his best friend, Mr. Daystick. And my models, my city defence trooper and medic mate, have run up and taken cover behind the dumpster. And here you can see that. So my judge wins that fight and inflicts 2 wounds onto that pesky gorilla, but gorillas are big and tough, and they come standard with 3 wounds for level 1 hero gorilla. So he's still in the fight. I'm able to push him back 2 inches though, and make my follow-up move to retain and contact. Yep, and here you can see the rest of my gang that's gone on. and at this point I think my punk with rifle has shot down the orangutan. I had line of fire to them, it didn't need to move, so it was able to shoot twice. The orangutan lost both rolls, failed both sets of armor saves, and promptly takes a trip to the hospital. Now, here's a stunning move. My city defence trooper made an agility test to leap over the dumpster, raced across the table, towed onto the objective, engaged the guerrilla hero in close combat, won, and pushed the guerrilla away 2 inches. Now you don't have to follow up, so I'm not going to in this case, because 2 inches is a nice perfect gap ready for my judge, who hasn't activated yet, to shoot said guerrilla with his Kalashnikov carbine, and shot him and promptly did a critical hit, doing 4 damage, which the guerrilla failed his armor saving throw and took him straight out of action. Meanwhile, here's my other judge beating up on that poor defenseless guerrilla over there, and at this point we've sent those guerrillas packing, because there aren't any of them left on the table. So yeah, here's some again, no new territory for me, no injury rolls. Don't think anybody in the ape gang died. They didn't get any territory. Yeah, some comments about the sort of game. I quite liked that flanking maneuver. Coming in from different angles is very important, because models here can be in cover from one direction but totally exposed to another, and that makes a big difference to how effective your shooting is going to be. Yeah, day sticks are in the hands of a trained judge still pretty potent weapons, and again I quite like pairing models up so that they can give themselves some backup and or do things that they can't do individually, so one can pin one opponent down from one end and then try and flush them out from the other. So at this point my gang's doing quite well. They're probably doubled in experience and kit, and the models are starting to get quite tough. So I thought I'd break out a new gang and play somebody else. Yep, I got some very nice alien models from Protos Games as part of their AVP boxed set, so I thought I'd dig them out. As you can see from this, there has been a Judge Dredd Alien crossover. So what have I got? I'm up against the Insane Clown Posse mobsters. They've got a couple of heroes, a couple of minion blitzers who are quite big and tough, and another minion with gun. I've got my alien hive. Now I'm using the ape gang rules, so I've got 3 alien heroes with cleaver and 3 alien minions with knives, and the alien heroes are using the gorilla rules and the alien minions of using chimp rules. So why have I done that? Well, I've got 2 different types of alien models, 3 standing up slightly bigger ones and 3 slightly smaller, more agile sort of doggy runner ones. So it seems to work from a model selection point of view. I've deliberately themed the gang to be aliens, so don't have any missile weapons, so we'll see how we get on. There's no alien rules for models in the Judge Dredd miniatures game. It's going to be an IP licensing thing, but again you can use whatever range of models you like and pick a gang that gives you the right sort of capabilities. So I went for the apes because they had the ability to climb and run over obstacles and leap and jump and be all athletic in the way that you see aliens doing during the movies. This mission's demolition. The instant win condition is if you have models in contact with the target objective, spend 8 special actions to set the explosives, that's it, you win. So in this game, you can see that our city block has been taken over by a new architectural style high-rise. This represents the aliens' hive building. It also doubles as my objective building for Infinity games. And there's my alien models over there on the right, and we're waiting for the Insane Clown Posse to set up. So I'm the defender. So what we decided here was the Insane Clown Posse had sent somebody round to gather tribute, and no tribute was forthcoming, so they've decided to make an example of these people, because otherwise nobody else is going to take them seriously and won't give up their extortion racket. So, you know, what's going to happen? Aliens versus sci-fi gangers. Right, so here you can see over there on the left is the Insane Clown Posse starting to arrive, and the aliens are lurking around on the back of the hive. Now in this scenario, the Insane Clown Posse models could deploy up to 12 inches in from the left of the screen, and the defenders, being the aliens, could deploy up to the halfway line. So there's only just over 12 inches distance minimum between us. This short setup distance is about to become fairly crucial. The other thing that's crucial at this point is, in the first turn, models are deemed to be on alert status. So what that means is, if you complete an action within 10 inches of a model, or attack a model that's within 10 inches of a model that's on alert, that model can then take an action. Doesn't have to be a shoot action, can be any kind of action. So if you're on alert and somebody moves to get a bead on you, you could flip round a corner and duck back out of line of sight. So here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Insane Clown Posse models getting set up for their assault. Their plan is to, quite a reasonable one, is to rush up with their blitzers, who are some of their better hand-to-hand combat models, and then cover the advance with the other three. So at the end of the first turn, the 2 blitzers have run up and parked next to the building. Now they did this ending moves within 10 inches of my aliens, so they've all taken a move action in response and run forward 5 or 6 inches. So now effectively this is just like the scene in Aliens, where the aliens are uncurling from the walls, and if the poor gangers had motion detectors, they'd be going bleep, 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 bleep all over the place, because at this point there's 5 inches or less in a lot of cases. So, alien first turn. Right, so first alien, first action, charges one of the blitzers and beats him in hand-to-hand combat, takes him out of action. Chop. Bonus close combat dice for charging, good close combat stat, cleaver, skilled and dangerous, claw, bite, sting with tail, the whole alien attack routine. Whoops, slightly blurry picture. Here's the rest of the aliens there, moving up. Here's some more of them spilling over the top, ready. In fact, most at this point, I think only one of them is actually activated in their turn. There you can see the blitzer model down, and the alien's about to do a second action, which is charge his mate. There he goes, charges his mate and takes him out of action. One of the chimps with knives hits Another one of the supporting gangers with his gun, and manages to tickle him to death with his knife. So I don't know, slash with tail probably. And here's the other two doggy style aliens closing in. One's made contact with minion with a gun. So at this point, the only model the Insane Clown Posse have got left still standing, who's unengaged from combat, is their leader. So this one's going to be fairly nasty, brutish and short. Here we go. This is just another recap of the same thing. So the ganger who's engaged down at the bottom, all he can do is try and fight me in close combat. Now there's two ways of doing this. Either you fight me in close combat and win and kick me away 2 inches and don't follow up, or you can try and make a move action, and if you win a round of close combat you can get away and then move your full distance. At this point probably the better move is get rid of the alien that's fighting him, try and fight him properly, kick him away, and ideally at this point you could kick him away and then shoot him. Notice there I'm missing a dog alien. He's promptly been shot by the gang leader and failed his armor saving throw and taken out of action. So yes, obviously did one of those celebratory roars or hisses that aliens are wont to do. And at that point, that was it. We took out the last of the gang members. He wasn't successful in breaking off and got stabbed by the 2 alien minions, and at that point with only one mortal left, the gang leader decided to change his name to Carter Burke and make like a corporate executive and leave. So aliens ended up just being a scratch, no actual injuries. I got a new territory, first one ever in the games that I've won. So I got an Umpty factory. That's D10 times 100 credits. So that was a bonus of 700 credits from that factory, plus the 100 credits I get from my home territory. That buys me 5 more alien warriors. So yeah, their models I think from Protoss are called infants, so they're going to be pretty tough. So I've now got 8 alien heroes and 3 scout minion aliens who've all got a game under their belts. The mobsters got no new territory, didn't die, but lots more injuries. A few of them got their arms badly chewed and this kind of thing. Yeah, thoughts at the end of the game. There really wasn't a need to rush. There's no time limit. If you can get some skirmishing going on, thin down the alien numbers first and then close in, perhaps might have been a better thing. Yeah, so aliens don't really like guns. They're a bit nasty, so it'll be interesting to see how they go in another game, but just all for a bit of fun. But yeah, boy, even with only a cleaver, decent close combat stat and bunches of dice in close combat and a skill or 2, and they're pretty nasty if they get to you. Right, so I think that's it. Thank you for making it this far in the video. A little bit longer than usual, so we'll see how this one goes.